The British establishment loudly boasts about freezing Russian assets, but they are guarding the wrong gate. While Westminster watches the old enemy, a new breed of Russian-born billionaires has already executed a flawless takeover. These are the 5 empires destroying Britain's old money. Number 5. Andrei Andreev. The most terrifying empires of the 21st century do not conquer physical land, they conquer human psychology. Right now, the United Kingdom is undergoing a bizarre and desperate economic reality. Ordinary citizens are literally scouring their wallets and piggy banks, searching for rare 1983 2-pence coins, hoping to sell them for £1,000 just to clear their debts. The working class is hoping for miracles. Amidst this financial desperation, Russian-born billionaire Andrei Andreev discovered a much darker, far more lucrative territory to exploit: the fundamental human desperation for connection. He built an empire by weaponizing loneliness itself. Securing a personal fortune of $2.6 billion, Andreev did not build factories or buy historic castles. He engineered inescapable digital ecosystems. He is the mastermind behind massive global dating platforms like Badoo and Bumble. He created highly sophisticated algorithms designed to keep millions of users perpetually swiping, constantly searching, and endlessly paying for the illusion of romance. While traditional British retail families rely on physical stores and inventory, Andreev's automated systems collect money every single second from the comfort of a smartphone. He effectively monopolized human intimacy. This is a conquest of the mind, and it is devastatingly effective. The British establishment cannot comprehend a power that exists entirely in the digital ether. The local population is struggling to pay council taxes and utility bills, yet Andreev effortlessly collects billions from their emotional vulnerability. He infiltrated the daily lives of millions of citizens, quietly taxing their social lives and their desires. He proved that you do not need a military fleet or massive real estate portfolios to conquer a nation. You just need to control the digital platforms where its people go to feel less alone. He is the ultimate architect of digital isolation. Andrei Andreev demonstrated to the British aristocracy that the most profitable real estate in the modern world is not located in Mayfair. It is the empty space in the human heart. Number 4. Farhad Moshiri. If Andrei Andreev conquered the digital space, our next billionaire brought the war directly back to the physical world. The British establishment takes immense pride in its homegrown industrial titans, believing their centuries of manufacturing history make them invincible. But the reality is that the British industrial empire is currently bleeding to death. Look at Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the founder of INEOS and part owner of Manchester United. Once a titan of the rich list, he recently saw a staggering £6.47 billion wiped off his personal fortune in a single year. While the local billionaires panic and ruthlessly cut jobs just to survive, Farhad Moshiri arrived with an unstoppable, uncompromising force. He brought the raw, heavy financial weight of Russian-aligned industry directly to their shores. Operating with a massive net worth of $2.7 billion, Moshiri's wealth was forged in the unforgiving sectors of the East. He built his colossal empire through entities like Metallo Invest and the telecommunications giant Megaphone. He operates in a completely different stratosphere from the struggling British lords. While homegrown enterprises beg for tax breaks, Moshiri commands the very core resources that build global cities and connect entire nations. He deployed this immense capital into the United Kingdom, turning his industrial profits into a financial battering ram. The psychological takeover is absolute. The old money elites look at Moshiri and realize their remaining wealth is fragile. The traditional British billionaire is currently laying off workers and fighting endless political battles over tax changes. Moshiri, however, stands firm. He holds physical and digital assets that are simply too massive to fail. He weaponized the heavy industries to buy influence and prestige in the West, forcing the local elite to accept him not as a guest, but as an absolute financial authority. The traditional aristocracy built their wealth on inheritance and polite investments. Farhad Moshiri built his empire with iron, steel, and telecommunications. He proved that in the modern era, struggling British heritage will always surrender to the brutal dominance of heavy industry. Number 3. Igor and Dmitry Bookman. If weaponizing loneliness is a masterstroke, then hijacking the human brain's reward system is the ultimate form of modern warfare. The government of the United Kingdom is currently so desperate for cash that the Department for Work and Pensions has been given powers to spy on the bank accounts of pensioners. Campaigners are outraged, calling it a presumption of guilt as the state monitors the meager finances of the elderly. The establishment is literally fighting over pennies. Meanwhile, the Russian-born Bookman brothers executed a psychological takeover so flawless that they recently became the biggest risers on the Sunday Times rich list. They are the ultimate colonizers of the human mind. Defying the downward trend of the British economy, Igor and Dmitry Bookman almost doubled their fortune in a single year, reaching an astonishing £12.54 billion. They did not achieve this through oil, steel, or banking. They built their empire entirely on mobile games such as Gardenscapes and Fishdom. They engineered the perfect dopamine-draining machines. By combining bright colors, infinite levels, and frustrating paywalls, they created a system where millions of ordinary people willingly hand over their money just to get a brief, artificial hit of satisfaction. The sheer scale of this psychological extraction is terrifying when viewed against the current economic reality. The government is policing the bank accounts of vulnerable pensioners, while the Bookman brothers quietly extract billions directly from the pockets of distracted, exhausted citizens through millions of invisible microtransactions. The old money elite throws extravagant parties to show off their inherited wealth, but the Bookman brothers sit quietly behind screens, watching as a hypnotized population unknowingly finances their £12 billion global empire. They are the modern puppet masters. The Bookman brothers proved that the easiest way to empty a nation's pockets is not through aggressive taxation. It is to simply give the population a game they cannot stop playing. Number 2. Alex Gurko. The ultimate symbol of British power is the illusion of noble birthright. Look at Hugh Grosvenor, the 7th Duke of Westminster. At just 34 years old, he commands a fortune of £9.88 billion simply because he inherited a title and the historic Grosvenor estate from his father. The old money establishment loves this slow, unearned accumulation of wealth. Then came the era of the machine. Alex Gurko did not inherit anything. He looked at the arrogance of the heritage bankers and the lords of the realm and saw nothing but slow, emotional, and highly flawed humans waiting to be slaughtered by pure logic. Gurko is a Moscow-born mathematician who renounced his Russian citizenship to build a completely terrifying financial weapon right in London. He founded the algorithmic trading company XTX Markets in 2015. Operating with a massive personal net worth of £8.75 billion, his empire is built entirely on code. He did not hire the sons of British dukes. He replaced human traders with cold, emotionless algorithms that execute millions of complex calculations per second across global markets, from New York to Mumbai. He essentially unleashed a mathematical assassin onto the financial trading floors. The devastation of the old guard was swift and entirely silent. Gurko's algorithms do not need sleep, they do not feel fear, and they do not respect royal titles. Even though market fluctuations recently saw his on-paper value drop by over £3 billion year on year, he remains an absolute apex predator. XTX Markets completely dominates the trading floors without ever raising their voices. The traditional bankers, with their centuries of history and elite private school degrees, were entirely outgunned by lines of code written by a mathematical genius. He took their money by sheer intellectual superiority. He proved that human intuition in the financial markets is officially dead. Alex Gurko demonstrated that in the modern financial war, aristocratic bloodlines mean absolutely nothing when faced with the cold, ruthless perfection of mathematics. Number 1. Nick Storunsky. The ancient banking institutions of the United Kingdom have always operated with a quiet arrogant monopoly over the nation's wealth. They believed their centuries of history made them invincible. But Nick Storonsky did not just challenge the British banking system. He engineered a black hole designed to swallow it entirely. Right now, the United Kingdom is facing systemic decay. 1.6 million households are bracing for a major landline switch-off because the country's old copper wires cannot keep up with modern needs, and councils are scrambling to grab more taxes. Amidst this crumbling infrastructure, Storonsky decided to render the entire traditional banking model completely extinct. Commanding a colossal net worth of $18.8 billion, Storonsky is the mastermind behind Revolut. He did not build physical bank branches, and he certainly did not hire polite aristocratic managers. He built an invisible, borderless financial machine entirely on a smartphone. By offering ruthless efficiency, instant global transfers, and absolutely zero respect for traditional banking fees, Storonsky created a platform that operates completely above the decaying physical infrastructure of Britain. He aggressively strips millions of customers away from the heritage banks, weaponizing ultimate convenience to dismantle the old financial order. This is the total collapse of the establishment's financial grip. For generations, the old money elite controlled the flow of capital, dictating who gets to participate in the economy. Storonsky bypassed them entirely. His cutting-edge app sits in the pockets of millions, quietly draining the lifeblood away from the ancient institutions of the City of London. The heritage bankers, sitting in their historic offices, are forced to watch in absolute horror as an $18 billion empire, built by a single visionary, systematically dismantles a financial system they took centuries to build. He is the executioner of traditional finance. Nick Storonsky proved to the British elite that you do not need to physically rob a bank to destroy it. You just have to build a superior machine and make their entire existence completely irrelevant. Commanding a combined fortune of over $50 billion, these five empires prove a brutal reality. Inherited land is obsolete. True modern power belongs to those who control code, algorithms, data, infrastructure, and digital money. Subscribe to Dynasty Dossiers to expose the establishment.